Welcome everyone to our second episode of Think Pare Share. Today we have a special treat for you. We have two chess masters here at Sharpstown High School that are going to compete in combat for your viewing pleasure. To my left and your right, you have Kevin Pullum. He's a coach of the golf team and also our health teacher here and chess club sponsor. And to my right, none other than Dean Silvio Leiva, who says he's pretty good. We'll find out if he's telling the truth. Go ahead and roll the titles. Gentlemen, the rules are simple. International chess rules. There is no clock, so you can take your time. And I insist that I will ask questions while you play to distract you and do everything I can to make this entertaining as possible for our viewing pleasure. Any questions before we begin?
The question I have is the UIL rule is touch move. You touch a piece, you have to move it.
That's what I'm under the impression of. Are you in agreement with the touch move?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we playing en passant? Is still definitely a rule here?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
I don't think that there's any other mysteries. We can go ahead and get started. Dean Leiva, it's your first move.
All right, let's go.
Very aggressive play out of Dean Leiva right at the beginning here. Dean Leiva, when did you start playing chess?
I was probably 6 years old when my dad started teaching me how to do this.
6 years old, and where would that have been?
Normally was in the living room in my area. Yeah,
You have any brothers or sisters that you play chess with?
yeah.
Care to elaborate, Mr. Leiva? Wow, okay. First blood. Okay. You know what? Who needs queens is what I always say. You know?
Mm-hmm.
What do we got next? So right now, Dean Leiva is holding the middle of the board. It looks like we're trying to set up a little bit of a bishop and knight trap here. Coach Pullum, when did you start playing chess?
Actually, I started playing in the 8th grade. My history teacher didn't play the game, but she just wanted some young kids to have something to do.
Mm-hmm.
So she started a chess club, and her strategy was just to allow the kids who knew how to play chess to teach us newcomers.
And so you learned from your classmates.
I sure did, yeah.
And you've continued to play thereon. Do you play regularly, or what's the longest you've been without playing?
Well, I came here to Sharpstown and just, picked the tool back up again. But I play periodically. But now I play every day. Prior to that, when I was at another school, I didn't play as often. No, I kind of was in a little hiatus.
Yeah.
And then once I got here, I said, this is something I can share with the other students, because in the 8th grade when I played chess, I was a B student, made a few A's, but once I played on the chess team, something happened that really shook my whole world. I played on the chess team and made all A's and 1 B. Mm-hmm. And I attributed that to me playing chess, because chess is a game that causes you to think analytically.
Sure.
It helps you with your reasoning skills. And when that happened, I started taking my time when I took tests. Mm-hmm. I became a more analytical thinker. And then chess is a cause and effect.
Sure.
So it made me start thinking, okay, if I make this decision, then there's a cause because of the decision, and then there's an effect. And when I saw that, I started applying that to life, and it's helped me ever since. And that's why I try to teach the students here at the school.
Awesome.
Dean Leiva, would you say that chess is relaxing or stressful to you?
I would say for me it's
Judging by the yawn, a little relaxing.
more than relaxing. I really enjoy doing this.
Does it put you in a bit of a meditative state?
Exactly. So I'm having I don't know, my blood is start boiling, and it's the challenge to be in a new situation every other moment, right? You are in a new challenge, a new situation, and you're trying to see what we're gonna do here. Mm-hmm. So I can feel my blood in my veins practically boiling, saying, well, we have to do this, and that. Like you are thinking 1,000 times per second.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys get back to it for a little bit. I don't mean to interrupt, but I really appreciate the commentary and the background information as we move forward.
Okay, got the plan now.
So Coach Pullum, as you play, how important is possession of the center of the board to you?
Very, very important. That's the key to the game. You can get control of the center of the board. You have control of the game, and that's what a major battle is trying to get the control of those four squares right here.
So how do you feel about your posturing right now?
I think right now, position-wise, Mr. Leiva is doing very well. He has me playing a little defensively because I started out with black. So my goal is to try to get him on the defense. So I'm trying to switch the roles. Because when you start off with the black and the white piece move first, white gets to manipulate the move. So my counter strategy is to switch the roles and get him on the defense. Right now, he has me on the defense.
So Dean Leiva, you already had to retreat your knight once. How are you feeling about your chances of that control of the center of the board right now?
So far, so good, man.
So far, so good.
Got him in double pawn structure, so it makes you complicated.
I'm sorry, Coach, you want to talk about double pawn structure again there?
It's hard on the end game to come get your queen.
Mm-hmm. It's been penetration of the pawn wall here. It looks like you've put Dean Leiva in a bit of a precarious situation.
Mm-hmm.
So do you tend to favor rooks in the end game, or do you use them in the mid game as well?
I use them in the middle game. I prefer my knights.
Dean Leiva, your preference in piece in this stage of the game?
Prefer the knights.
Chance for castling is diminishing here, but it's still there if one is so inclined. Both players have been doing a good job of clearing out any attack from across the center line. It looks like we're that sizable pawn progression here now. A major difference being the double pawn structure that we see on Dean Leiva's king side. Again, nobody is castled. A nice open board. We look forward to an interesting middle game now. So, Coach, when you're teaching your chess club players, what do you feel is the best way for a player to improve?
I think the best way for them to improve first is to visualize the game the way it was meant to be played, is battlefield of the minds on the board. Mm-hmm. But also take yourself back to the days when they had those prehistoric wars, and they had the pieces that had value. Mm-hmm. And they had to understand that the pawns were peasants.
Sure.
But the pawns can get promoted. And in chess, the beautiful thing about it is they get promotions. And check. So when they understand that, we're teaching the value of developing your pieces. Once they develop the piece first before you go out and attack, that's called strategic planning. Mm-hmm. So they're learning how to set strategies. And we think that helps them also when they prepare for college or any other decision that they make in life.
It brings up a whole other point. Dean Leiva, having had this experience of playing chess, do you see its value or its parallel in the classroom? I mean, how do you think it could help a student?
Well, this is an excellent way to be helping a student to be thinking, developing thinking skills, being analytic, able to synthesize all the information and make a decision based on all the information you are gathering.
What about the control of emotions? Is that something that you feel like you garner over time? I mean, this is a pretty intense battle, and you guys both seem pretty calm.
Yeah, showing emotion is a sign of weakness. So you have to be strong, under control. So show your strength by being patient, under control. Don't let your opponent see you sweat. Because if they see you sweat, you might have made a mistake, but the opponent might not have seen it.
Sure.
But if you show him that you made the mistake by getting emotional, that gives the opponent an advantage, and you don't want to do that.
That's correct.
Let's see. He's trying to gain advantage there. So let's move this piece here. We don't want him to get that route there. So we're going to go here on the predictable side. Also in chess, you got to think more than one piece at a time. You need to think more moves ahead. The best strategy when you're starting beginners off, teach them to think 3 moves ahead. If I make this move, cause and effect, this will happen. Then I got to have a backup plan. So those are your 3 moves that you're thinking about. So now we need to try to mount the pressure a little bit. So now we've switched gears. I have Leiva on the defense now, so I got to keep him there. So we can't let him off the hook. And what we need to do now is mount our address by pushing forward on the pawns.
So in retrospect already, we lost queens right at the beginning of the game. How has that affected the game to this point?
Usually you want to get the queen out of the way because she's the most powerful piece on the board. And if she's still on the board, she can wreak havoc. She can literally just wipe a board off. And you don't want her in the way. So you try to get her as much. He's trying to force me to double pawn structure, and we don't want to do that. However, there should be another approach that we can take, and that is to gain access to this level here. But if we take his pawn, he'll take me. Let's do something a little different. He can't hit us on because he's not in my 5th rank.
Check.
Keep the double pawn structure. Don't let him out of that. And push it down for the end game.
I don't think anybody doubted it'd be an equal matchup, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to suffer a devastating defeat at the hand of their opponent today. Can you guys recall a devastating defeat in your past that really shook your confidence or maybe made you a better player?
I can go way back to 1991 with Mr. Mitchell.
Mr. Mitchell.
Yeah.
Dean Mitchell. We're going to have to get him into the studio.
Yeah, Dean Mitchell and I used to play a lot back in 91. And he was a very good, aggressive player. And he handed me some defeats that made my game much better. And so I'm looking forward to the rematch.
That should be fun.
Yeah.
Leiva, do you remember any losses that really changed you as a player?
There is Grandmaster in Nicaragua. The name is Danilo Sirias. He's now living in Chicago. He's an amazing player. He was the first table in the national team. And he beat me out badly, really badly.
I can imagine it being devastating, but I can also imagine it being a joy to play somebody that good. How was it like for you?
Every game is just experience, man. It's just experience. Learning experience. Based on that, I think everything, even whatever is the outcome, is something you're learning. It's new.
We don't want to do that. Let's see. Go there. He crossed over. We don't want to do that.
While we wait on the next move, I just want to state for the viewers, we're really grateful that this is our second episode of Think Pare Share, and it's a show that we've been making with Mr. Aguilar's AV production classes in C101 here at Sharpstown High School. It's been a real joy to work with him and his students in the production of these episodes. We look forward to producing more episodes in the near future. The basic theme that ties these episodes together is that it's about conversation, about questions and follow-up questions, helping students and teachers at Sharpstown get better at asking questions and get better at asking follow-up questions. Sometimes it's the follow-up question that yields a fruit and not the first one. And so that's the basic theme. but any other aspect that we can inject in for fun, like chess, we're happy to. So again, thank you, gentlemen, for being the first in our series of hopefully many chess matches that we'll record as a part of Think Pare Share.
Thanks for having us.
At what point in a game, and this is for either of you, at what point in a game do you play for stalemate instead of checkmate? When do you make that editorial decision to say, you know what, checkmate's not in my destiny, I'm better off playing for a draw or a stalemate? Or is that even in your vocabulary, Dean Leiva?
Well,
I'm not saying that we're there yet.
yeah, we're not there yet, but I normally try to finish the game as soon as I can. I think Coach Pullum is in agreement. I'm trying to play fast, quickly. No, I'm not the guy for the long run.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Coach Pullum, looks like Dean Leiva's done a pretty good job of covering his pawns to make it difficult for you to break his back on that end.
Mm-hmm.
Check.
For the sake of the viewers, with the board being as empty as it is and spaced out it kind of gets a little bit difficult sometimes to maintain perspective of which rank we're in. Coach Pullum is coming on pretty heavy here on the flank of the board. Dean Leiva, I want to go back to the mutual decision to remove queens in the very opening of the game. Does that come from a respect for Coach Pullum's playing prowess, or is that something that you would do with any player?
No, not really. I don't like to give up my queen that fast. I normally like to keep the queen.
Mine is respect for his game. So I get his queen on the board.
I translated that as well.
Yes, no, I get Mr. Leiva's queen out the way quick because he's a very dangerous player. He takes his time and he's a good thinker. Check.
I don't know if you could see it on camera, but Dean Leiva's shaking the whole table.
Oh, sorry.
And a slow vibration. And he has been for many minutes because it's such an intense game. Next time, clock.
That's
Next time, clock.
check.
This will be the second time Dean Leiva has pushed the king to c3. Slightly different approach this time.
I'm not giving that up. You know that.
Mm-hmm. I know. I'm not giving entry here. You need to try to say something different.
Okay, we've got a plan. Check.
And at the very least, we've broken the cycle that we were in for 3 repetitions or so.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually feel both players calculating these last steps. It's palpable. I wonder if it translates to video. I don't know. We'll see. But I can tell you from being here that I feel like I'm witnessing 2 human calculators. And there's a little bit of a buzz in both. Open question. How important has G3 been in this end game?
Very important. Very important. But now I got the strategy working where I got him where I want him. Okay, this is what I was hoping he would do. So now what we're going to do is we're going to force a check here, check. He has to take it with the rook, which I was wanting to free it up. Got another check here, going for the queen.
There's no rushing there fast enough, so what do you do?
That was the
in this
mistake I was
scenario.
waiting on. It was either that one or push that pawn out of the way so I can come down.
Yeah, but there is no other way. There is no other way.
I have a feeling that Coach Pullum is going to be favoring black squares here pretty soon, if he isn't already, and nullifying the power of the bishop.
Okay, let's wipe out now. Check. He can't check me because I'm on black. So what we're going to do is we're going to force some stuff on him. Just. Okay, now we got to work this end game on him. Let's see. You want to get all the way down there. So let's check and check. This is what's going to hurt him right here. Double pawn structure.
It's interesting that the double pawn structure that we saw at the very beginning of the game manifests itself as a problem in the end game. And that in and of itself is a metaphor for all of us to learn. Things that seem like a small problem at the beginning can become a bigger problem at the end, so you got to do your work right at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Not to be too moralizing, I think Dean Leiva has played a fantastic game. I know I wouldn't last this long.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
You are. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It was an absolute pleasure, guys.
All right.
Tune in again, guys. Soon we'll be doing our Think Pare Share episode number 3. But for today, it's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.